Howdy, y'all. It is Cody from the Keepers of Nerdom. How y'all doing? Today, we're going to be looking at two detachments that have been previewed. I believe this one was maybe from Sunday, and then one from today. We'll be looking at Astra Militarum from Sunday, and then Leagues of Votann from today. There are two new detachments that came out, and man, some pretty big stuff here. Let's go over it together. We'll start with Astra Militarum detachment for Grotmus from Warhammer 40k. It's the Bridgehead Strike, so the detachment rule is only the best. Each time an Astra Militarum infantry model from your army makes a ranged attack, reroll a hit roll of 1. So any infantry get to reroll hit rolls of 1. That's pretty awesome. Kind of insane. Fire Zone Purge. Each time a Militarum Tempestus model, which is, I believe, a leader, from your army makes a ranged attack in a turn in which it was set up on the battlefield from reserves, or it disembarked from a transport, add 1 to the wound roll. If a that's handy. It's just they're going to be Astra Militarum, so they're not going to actually do a whole lot of damage, but they are going to be leaders. So if a Militarum Tempestus officer model from your army is your warlord, Tempestus Scions units from your army gain the battle line keyword. And while such a unit is not battle shock, add 1 to the objective control characteristic of Tempestus Scions models in that unit. So let's look at it really quickly. Astra Militarum datasheets. I'm curious what the Scions look like. So let's go looking up real quick. As far as what did they do? And now the internet has decided to be slow. You can do it. You can do it. Maybe. All right, we'll continue here in a moment. All right, let's go through a Bombast class Vox Ray for 25 points for an enhancement. Militarum Tempestus Officer, that's going to be a big thing. Model only. Each time the bearer issues an order, if the bearer's unit contains 1 or more models equipped with a Master Vox, it can issue that order to up to 3 different regiment units instead of only 1. So, and I believe regiments were the infantry squads, not necessarily. Well, let's look. Lehman Russ battle tank. Does it have that keyword? Does not. Okay. So Tempestus Scions would be somewhere over here because they are not typically... There they are. So what are these guys? All right, we'll adjust this for you all real quick. Tempestus Scions, let's look at all the weapon options. Good grief. So... They're a group of 10 with chain swords and stuff. Chain swords have no AP. That's crazy. Huh. That's really interesting. So they would become battle line. That's kind of cool. I like it. All right, let's go back. And we'll continue back on to adjust back to where we were. There we go. Alrighty. Continuing on. Let's check it out. Priority drop beacon. So the orders thing is pretty awesome. Priority drop beacon for 30 points. Militarum Tempestus officer model only. The bearer's unit can be set up using the deep strike ability in the reinforcement step of your first, second, or third movement phase, regardless of any mission rules. That's crazy. So... very interesting. So it just allows you to always deep strike with them, I guess. Bizarre. Shroud Projector. Militarum Tempestus offers 15 points. Model only. Enemy units cannot use the Fire Overwatch stratagem to shoot at the bearer's unit. Pretty good. That's cool. Protects them a little bit more. Advanced Augury. 15 points. Infantry officer model only. After both players have deployed their armies, select up to 3 regiment units from your army and redeploy them. When doing so, you can set those units up in strategic reserves regardless of how many units are already in strategic reserves, which is probably what you should do because that's really cool, especially if they have deep strike or something. Let's see. Does this have deep strike? It does. So the Tempestus Scions is what that's probably designed to do. What are these things? Hotshot Lasgun is what they're all equipped with. -1 AP, 1 damage, 3 ups to hit, rapid fire 1. Dang. 24-inch range. That's pretty good. Strength 3 though. That's just really cool. And a close combat weapon, which would just be presumably like a knife. Anyway, let's look at the stratagems. All 1 CP here. Bellicosa drop. When the reinforcement step of your movement phase, target 1 Astra Militarum infantry, and I think, no, they are different. Okay. For your army that is in reserves and has a deep strike ability until the end of the phase, when your unit is set up on the battlefield using the deep strike ability, it can be set up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 6 inches horizontally away from all enemy units, instead of the 9. Until the end of the turn, your unit is not eligible to declare a charge, though. So you can get closer, though, for some good rapid fire and all that kind of stuff, making sure you're getting a little extra. All right. Firing hot during your shooting phase. When 1 Militarum Tempestus or Kazurkan unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot this phase. Until the end of the phase, improve the strength and armor penetration characteristics of Hot Shot. Las carbines, las guns, las pistols, they're all hot shot. Marksman rifles, volley guns, and sentry hot shot volley guns equipped by your models in your unit by 1. That's really cool. That's fun. That can make them really, really strong. That's cool. It's a good one. All right. During your shooting phase, 1 Astra Militarum unit, excluding Titanic units from your army. So this could be for tanks. Until the end of the phase, your unit is eligible to shoot in a turn in which it advanced. That's all right. I mean, that's good if you need the movement, but no guarantee. You might move 1 inch, you might move 6. Servo designators. When your shooting phase, just after an Astra Militarum infantry unit from your army has shot, target that Astra Militarum infantry unit and select 1 enemy unit hit by 1 or more of those attacks that is visible to your unit. Until the end of the phase, that enemy unit cannot have the benefit of cover. As long as you hit at least once and it's visible to that unit, they can't have the benefit of cover. So all of a sudden your AP -1s all stick. That's a crazy good one. So you just fire with like your worst one just to, and see them, and at least as long as you hit once, then cool. Even if they save out of it, they lose their cover. Aerial extraction. When the end of your opponent's fight phase, so after they have fought, target 1 Valkyrie unit from your army that is not within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units, or 1 Astra Militarum unit from your army that has the deep strike ability and is not within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units. Remove them from the battlefield and place into strategic reserve. It's funny that it's after fight phase, but then they can't be in engagement range for fighting anyway. So I don't know. I just don't see the point in that wording, but that's all right. I mean, I guess I get it, because then it's just saying it's only the things that aren't already in close combat. I do get that. It's just frustratingly weird. Like, whatever. I get it. I do. I don't know why I'm saying I don't. It's just so funny to see that's like after the fight phase, but yet it's going to be something that's not fighting, which I'm guessing that thing didn't make it into charge. So now, hey, you get the ability to put it into reserves, and so you can redeploy it later, or strategic reserves. Anyway, sorry. Should not have been that confused about that. It's not that hard. On my position, when the end of your opponent's fight phase, target 1 regiment infantry unit from your army that is within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units. Okay, so now we're in engagement range, and roll 1d. I love this one. I forgot about this one. This is hilarious. Roll 1d6 for each enemy unit within engagement range of your unit. On a 2-up, that enemy unit suffers d6 mortal wounds. Then your unit suffers 3d3 mortal wounds. Like, yours is guaranteed. What you're doing is literally firing on your own position. And it's like, on my position, yes. That is what we're talking about. That is so funny. All right, let's go over to... I just think this is just a fun detachment. I don't know if it's like really good or anything, but I like the concept here that they're going to hit pretty hard as infantry, which is really fun, especially for the guard. So they're always going to be re-rolling hit rolls of 1 for the infantry. That's going to be a lot of things. All right, let's go over to Leagues of Votann. Too close. Hearthband is what we are called here. I actually talked to my good friend John about this. So I just wanted to make sure I understood, is this good or bad? And his first thought, and I'll just give it to you right now, is the other... Okay, I'll make sure to say it right. The other... like, the army rule is you get to do the judgment tokens, and then you get a +1 to hit anything that has 1 judgment token, and then once it gets to level 2, then you get +1, I believe, to the wound roll. And the other detachment that Votann has so far in 2,000 points gets 4 groups already with level 2 judgment tokens. So then you get +1 to hit and +1 to wound. Pretty strong, and this one does not have that part, so there is no 4. You have to go the long way around and use your calls or whoever it is that gives out those tokens that sees like 1 per turn. to get your +1 to hit. Pretty tough. So, but let's look through this because I actually was really excited about it. And then when I talked to them, I was like, oh no, that's a big loss because then the things are going to be surviving more in a way. But this also does have some cool stuff too. So, methodical annihilation. Each time a League of Votann model, just period, makes from your army makes an attack with a weapon excluding blast weapons. That's important. That targets the closest eligible target. So it has to be closest eligible target. So you have to be able to see it, obviously. Or a target that was within engagement range of that model's unit. So then, yeah. So you could do it in engagement range, which is good. Reroll a hit roll of 1. Very, very nice. If your unit is a Call, Einhar Hearthguard, or Uthar the Destined unit, improve the AP characteristic of that attack by 1. So you get to reroll all hit rolls by 1, or of 1, and also AP up by 1 if you have a Call, Einhar Hearthguard, or Uthar the Destined unit. Pretty cool. Makes for the infantry pretty nasty with that. It's just you don't get the +1 to hit, +1 to wound necessarily right away. Just depends on that. But especially in melee, could be pretty nasty. All right, so the enhancements. Bastion Shield for 25 points. Leagues of Votann model only. Each time a ranged attack targets the bearer's unit, if the attacking model is within 12 inches of the bearer's unit, worsen the AP characteristic of that attack by 1. So if you deep strike in and you somehow can get to the, the 6-inch closer thing, which I think they might have it down below. Yeah, they do. It's going to be hard for them to get away from it to get their full AP, but also then you might get cover. It's that interesting thing. I think it's cool, but for 25 points, it's really expensive. But for Leagues of Votann, that may be really useful depending on how dense your cover is, kind of what you're planning there. Or if you charge in, obviously the range attacks don't happen, with the melee stuff, but it could get you in a really close spot that even if they somehow were able to jump out of the engagement and fire, they're going to have -1 AP. It's pretty good, and especially for like deep striking things that are coming at you, like deep striking down on you from the 6 inches. Hey, you're now within 12, so your AP is down by 1. There you go. Quake Multi-Generator, 15 points, a Call model only. In your shooting phase after the bearer has shot, select one enemy unit, excluding Titanic units, hit by 1 or more of those attacks. Until the start of your next turn, that enemy unit is suppressed. I love seeing these concepts. But anyway, well, unit is suppressed. Each time a model in that unit makes an attack, subtract 1 from the hit roll. As long as they hit, they can make you, for 15 points, have -1 on your hit. That's crazy. It's only on a Call model, so it's going to be your infantry and stuff, so it's an anti-infantry most of the time. But you could do this to a vehicle as long as one shot hits it and then they save out of it, you still suppress them. That's crazy. That's really cool. Iron Skeen, 10 points. Leagues of Votann model only, so it's any leader. Add 2 to the bearer's wounds characteristic. I like that. It's just more survivable. It's cool. Makes them feel like Adeptus Custodes kind of model. That's crazy for just 10 extra points. High Call for 30 points. Call model only. So we are limited there again. Each time a model in the bearer's unit is destroyed by a melee attack, if it has not fought this phase, roll 1d6. On a 4-up, do not remove it from play. The destroyed model can fight if the attacking unit has finished making its attacks and is then removed from play. I mean, that's for 30 points. That's expensive, but it allows you to keep going in melee. So if you really got a good melee stuff and you want to keep them going for a bit, that's awesome stuff. Okay, so let's check it out. This is weird. Let's zoom in just a little bit further here. Let's go one more. Oop, too far. There we go. All right. Okay. So at least the ones that I've previewed, this is the first one I've seen in memory serves that has a 2 CP stratagem. We'll get down to it, but yeah, Brekik knots, micro shield generators. That's cool. When your opponent's shooting phase or the fight phase just after an enemy unit is selected as target. So they select your targets and then you activate this. Target 1 Call, Uthar the Destined or Einhar Hearthguard unit from your army that was selected as the target of 1 or more of the attacking unit's attacks. So these are going to be, first off, your 2 leaders. And then let's go back real quick. Leagues of Votann data sheets. let's check out. I don't remember the Hearthguard very well. So, oh my gosh, can you guys see this right now? Like, look at that list compared to the Astra Militarum. There's just nothing here. Okay. And what was it? Einhar Hearthguard. Okay. I don't know how I forgot that. So Einhar Hearthguard, I'm sorry. Yeah, we can at least see it somewhat. Oh my, they have a plasma gun that's really strong here. You see that? The Edekarn plasma gun. Who has that? They have a 4-up invuln save. Every model is equipped with an Edekarn plasma gun. 24-inch range for -3 AP, 2 damage, 3-up ballistica, 1 attack, but still. It's ridiculous. 10 models. Would you want a Vulcanite Disintegrator? It has devastating wounds, I guess. That's cool. And 3 attacks, so I got you. Strength 8, though. Oh, those are good. Okay. Huh. Alright, so let's go back here. Until the end of the phase, models and units have a 4-up invuln save. What's funny is the Einhar Hearthguard already have a built-in... Oh, the Bearer has a 4-up invuln save, so it's only... the Hesir, and he could actually have it replaced with a Teleport Crest. So that way they have Deep Strike. So then their whole model thing for a turn could have 4-up invuln. That's pretty ridiculous. It's nice. Those are nasty little boogers. All right. Sure of Purpose, fight phase. Target 1 League of Votann unit from your army that has not been selected to fight this phase. Effect. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit makes a pile-in or consolidation move, it can move up to 6 inches instead of up to 3. It's just oddly specific to melee stuff, but that would be for your melee people that are going to be hitting really hard. It's not these guys, is it? I don't think so. I can't ever remember the names of some of this, and I should because there's not much here. Chthonian Berserkers, that's who it was. The axes and concussion ball. They don't even have much AP, but they are lots of attacks. So that's what they're supposed to, and they have the feel in the pen, that's why. So, I mean, that would be useful for them when needed. So, kind of cool. Superior Craftsmanship, all right, for 2 CP. It's when you, in your fight phase, 1 League of Votann unit from your army has not been selected to fight this phase, so before they actually start their fight. Till the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit makes an attack that targets a monster or vehicle unit, add 1 of the damage characteristic of that attack. So, this is expensive, but it's your melee guys going in on a big target. And strength 9. Okay. Let's go back really quickly. Strength 9. Man, they actually have just as good. That's crazy. So I'm here Hearthguard, 150 or 320 for 10. Jeez. Or 200 for 10. So yeah, Chthonian Berserkers are better in a way just because they're cheap. And they only do that one thing more. So anyway, that's crazy though, because then you could actually take down vehicles. Really solid stuff there. Okay. It's just 2 CPs though. Unyielding Aggression. When your movement phase just after leaves a Votann infantry unit from your army falls back, target that one. Till the end of the turn, your unit is eligible to shoot and declare a charge in a turn in which it fell back. So you just move out like 1.5 inches and you go, all right, now we're shooting it over there and we're charging back into this group. That's crazy stuff. Like it's funny that one's only 1 CP and the other one was 2, which granted that's an extra damage per attack, but still, whoa. That's a crazy amount of extra damage that could be happening. Because then you get to attack first as you charge back in, instead of having to wait till after they melee you back, or melee you first. Materialization matrices. When the reinforcement step of your movement phase, target 1 League of Votann unit from your army that is in reserves and has deep strike ability. Then you can set them up within 6 inches horizontally away from all enemy units. Pretty cool. Till the end of the turn, though, they cannot charge. So that's where that 12-inch thing, and I'm pretty sure you can almost see like this was supposed to be the 3-inch thing with that 12 inches, and now it's changed to the 6-inch limiter, and they just went ahead and fixed it in here because these are being released on their own each day. So still good. I think it's a little bit more limited than where it was. Okay, Fury of the Hearth. I love that name. That's funny. During your shooting phase, target one Einhar Hearthguard unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot this phase. Until the end of the phase, ranged weapons, excluding blast weapons equipped by models in your unit, have the rapid fire 1 ability. Whew. Ironheart Hearthguard, rapid fire 1 would be within half, and at the Karn plasma gun's 24 inches, so you can get it up to 12, or 12 inches. That's scary, actually. So for 2 CPs, really interesting. Okay. Yeah. For 2 CPs, one, you could drop them within 6, so you could get, the deep strike, because otherwise you'd be out. No, 9. Yeah, it's 9. So actually, you could still get it from there. You wouldn't have to use 2. You get it for 1 CP. Rapid fire 1, and all of a sudden you got Hearthguard dropping on your opponents. Pretty crazy. They're not going to hit really consistently, except they get to reroll hit rolls of 1, unless they're targeting something that's already somehow got a judgment token on, which could happen. Einhar Hearthguard would have AP up by 1. That's an AP -4 weapon. Jeez. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. As much as the loss of the judgment tokens and hitting 50% of the time, the things that do go through are going to wound pretty consistently and also have a high AP. That's crazy. I like this in a way. It's just you're going to lose the -1 to hit and +1 to hit, +1 to wound from the judgment tokens starting on things. That being said, you've got a lot of ways to still do some pretty high damage, but it's going to be really inconsistent on the hitting. It's just something to keep in mind. So, very interesting. I think it'll be a fun one to try, but I think it's going to have a weird limit of, hey, we're only hitting 50% of the time. But when you're only hitting 50% of the time and you have rapid fire 1, what you're actually doing with the Fury of the Hearth is negating that hitting of 50% of the time, because you also will actually not just be hitting 50% of the time, because you could be rerolling hit rolls of 1. So part of that 50% actually get to reroll once, so you could get a few more hits, and the rapid fire 1 would actually negate that 50% miss rate. That's actually not 50% miss rate because of the reroll hit rolls of 1. That's crazy. You could do some pretty serious damage to like a medium type vehicle or something with them, and just land and go nope. So I think this could be really interesting, just because it's going to be not necessarily always volume of fire, but you could get a volume of fire because of this. And I love that rapid fire 1 Einhar Hearthguard. They're really wanting you to play that specific unit as a pretty focused part of the group. And so you could give them deep strike, and they could still have a 4-up invuln save on all of them later on. And they got some melee too. This could be pretty nasty. Strength 8 minus potentially 4 AP with 2 damage. Weapons that have 2 shots. No, these are 3-ups. They're not 4-ups. Huh. That's interesting. Side note. These are just a 4-up. And this can be led. And they get subtract 1 from the wound roll when they're targeted. It's pretty good. That's pretty good. And they have the Edicairn plasma gun, exo armor grenade launcher, and the concussion gauntlet. Concussion gauntlet's pretty good too. And so they actually have 2 weapons, and one's a D6 shots. These are kind of crazy. They'd have a 3-up anyway, so they're not bad. I don't know. I'd say it's worth at least trying and evaluating. Are the Einhar Hearthguard worth it? They are expensive, but they would put in some work. It's pretty cool. So their blast weapons wouldn't get the reroll hit rolls of 1 and the AP up, but their other weapon would. But you get to fire with both, and they do hit on 3-ups. Unlike some of their other stuff in the Hearthkin Warriors, pretty sure. Yep, 4-ups and 5-ups. Jeez. That's cool, actually. Holy cow. So yeah, I think this is really neat. It's got that really weird weakness of you're not going to have very much judgment tokens, but what you do have is a focus on a specific thing of the Ironheart Hearthguard dropping in on stuff and just wrecking things before they can retaliate. And you could fire with the blast grenade launchers first to get as many attacks as possible on a big like army, or even split fire like grenade launchers onto the Necron warriors in front of you and the bigger guns on a small vehicle. Right next button, you know that. Whoo. I will be intrigued to see this thing in operation. I really will, because I don't know. I think if you focus in on those things, they could do some interesting work. I wasn't planning on spending a whole lot of time on this specific one, and yet here we are. I've been Cody from the Keeper's Nerdum. Thank you so much for hanging out. Let me know down in the comments below what you're gonna do with these different parts of Warhammer 40k. If you've play Astra Militarum, do you like the new detachment? If so, why? And if not, why not? Let me know in the comments below. And for Votann, is this good or not? I know it has that major change and a big potential weakness there of losing the judgment token stuff, but also, do the Ironheart Hearthguard not need it? I don't know. I haven't played them, but also they only move for, oh, that's Hearthkin Warriors, 5 inches. Ironheart Hearthguard 5 inches too. They're so 2 wounds, toughness 6, 2-up saves. Whew. The Votann, man, are nasty. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Like, share, and subscribe. Let me know down in the comments below your thoughts on these 2 detachments. I've been Cody from the Keepers of Nerdom. Bye, y'all.